Hey family. Well, look at us, huh? We back. I did not expect to be doing this live today. And so before we even start the show, I have to get credit / blame. I can see him in the waiting room, like, bitch. I have to give credit to the person who convinced me to do this, because here's the thing, full transparency. Cardi versus Nicki is kind of like Kendrick versus Drake, or Pusha versus Drake, the industry versus Drake, or even Tupac versus Biggie, where there's the public discourse that happens with the viewing public, and then there is the discourse that happens in the industry and in ecosystems adjacent to the industry, because everybody knows somebody who knows a little bit of something, right? And so it's very tricky when stuff like this happens, because my first intention is to lay back and watch. I don't want to be the first hot take. The reason why when I worked at the Gauyo for almost a decade doing my column, we would repeatedly go viral is because we weren't the first, we were the most intentional. So for those of you who are always rushing to be the first, that's a cheap trick that doesn't age well. It makes more sense to let things kind of bake, right? Let things sit on the stove a little bit and heat up and change flavors before you finally say something, because then you don't have to watch things back. And so yesterday, I shit you not, I was like, I've had a couple of conversations with people behind the scenes that were concerning. And I've seen some things online with the rest of y'all that were concerning. And I was like, damn it, y'all keep tagging me, asking me to do this. I'm not sure I want to do it. And I promise you, I was in my hotel room and I got a text from Mike. And he was like, put me in the booth. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. If there was one person that I would feel really great having a rigorous conversation about this, where I think all parties would actually be humanized, because even though Mike is a Cardi fan, he, like I, also think that Nicki Minaj is brilliant. I'm going to say this again. If you came here to see East Coast versus West Coast, Queens versus the Bronx, you are shit out of luck. We are human beings who possess critical thinking skills and nuance, who are fans of the artistry of both of these women, these human beings, who are going to objectively say things based on seeing them as human beings and not being glamored by industry shit because it's owed to us, and being able to call a thing by its name. So there might be some moments where we call Cardi out for something, other moments where we call out Nicki out for something. They are not the same. Cardi and Nicki are not the same. Stop saying they're the same side of the same coin. No, they're not. I staunchly disagree. I posted a video on Instagram and TikTok and Threads explaining why I disagree. So with no further ado, let's welcome the motherfucker whose fault it is that we're here. my favorite Haitian play cousin, Mike Gauyo.
Hello, it's me.
Oh, I knew it. You had that already, didn't you? Mike.
No, I love it.
How are you feeling? Because what were you thinking when you texted me yesterday? Because you hit me at the right time.
Well, I felt like this was getting really messy, because at times it could be one of those. First of all, hey everybody, hello. How are you, beautiful people? And here's the thing, because Blue, you mentioned that, like, the thing about the Gauyo, you don't ever want to be the first person to bring up a trending topic, things like that, and you kind of want to let it simmer. But the thing is, I feel like we honestly thought that it would not last this long. Like, part of the concern is that it lasted so long and so many other people became involved in it, and it kind of like snowballed into something else. And I don't know if you want to talk about this. We don't have to talk about this now, but the whole Santana and JT of it and Carisha of it all.
First of all, I want to say this.
Read JT down, but to get back
to Mike, if you have any screenshots that you want to text me while we're doing this.
I sent you links already. Check your TikTok.
Oh, snap! On TikTok. No, send it on my phone, because the TikTok.
Oh, okay. I'll try. I'll send on your phone.
But the thing is, I will say this.
Went in on JT.
One of the astrology girlies. Yeah, one of the astrology girlies said, you have to understand why the audience is responding well to Santana and Cardi and not so well to JT and Nicki. And the astrology version is 2 Libras versus 2 Sagittarius.
It's the Libra thing. All that, we'll get to that, but I want to get back to your, I guess, my first point. And my first point is, I think many of us did not think it would go on for this long, and because it has, I think there's a level of just
Exhaustion.
exhaustion, but there's the EQ aspect of this that I find really interesting that I do want to discuss, because both women, and maybe more so Nicki than Cardi, have veered into a very kind of like dangerous and overly vitriolic space where it's now involving their children. And that's part of the issue for me more than anything else, because industry beef like this, rap beef, has been here since the beginning of rap. Like, it's nothing new. Like, this has existed, but it's veered into a really dangerous place, as you so aptly put it in your title.
That's the question for today. Is this dangerous? So we're going to be answering that by the end, me and Mike.
It's not good for not just these ladies, but because of the way that they're speaking to each other, particularly as women, it gives other individuals almost like a
oh, we're getting into that. I know exactly where you're going.
In saying vitriolic things to other people, especially as it pertains to any individuals that might be on the spectrum. And that's where I more so take issue with it, because my sister is autistic. And then we begin to veer into really dangerous territory. But go ahead, take it away, Blue. Take it away.
So for those of you who found peace and chose to like completely disengage from this, I tried to avoid this the first 24 hours. By hour 48 and 96, it came and found me and grabbed me by the ankle. So in case you are someone like me who was late to the party, what we're going to do today is we're going to have a montage that you guys know how we do this. We're going to put up videos that explain what's happening on a granular level, but we're going to be pausing for Mike and I to make commentary about what we're watching, so that even if a complete auntie who doesn't know anything about Cardi and Nicki can still join us on this conversation, because this is not just us kikiing and talking about gossip. It's also a teachable moment, right? I will say this. My gut has been screaming at me this entire time that Cardi is a hood girl who is proudly a hood girl, who is sincerely dancing with or entertaining some form of evolution now that she's out of a 7-year relationship that was unhealthy. It's impossible to be in a 7-year relationship that failed and not want to re-examine how you do everything, right? And I think what happened with Nicki made her regress. I did see a long-standing ticky boom with Nicki that caused the regression in Cardi, and someone who, let me put this, make sure I put this on, thank you for sending to me, Mike. Someone who I will not name, but I had a couple of people from the industry who quietly hit me up to give me context, because they were like, Blue, you and Mike have a platform, and we want to make sure you have context. And one of the people I spoke to said something to me, alleged, be responsible, alleged something to me about what really made Nicki double, triple, and quadruple down. That once they said it, I was like, oh, that tracks.
And you're going to share it with us, right?
Yes, Mike. At the right time. Mike, look at your face. You were like, bitch, do we need to go offline for a minute?
What was said?
Yeah, when we get to that part, when they told me why Nicki is being Nicki, but wouldn't cap locks, because Nicki's been doing this for years, right? The thing they told me, suddenly all of this made sense in a way that is funny, because I'll give you a hint. It's the same thing that made Drake go from being mad to going crazy. Drake was upset he was losing the Kendrick battle, but one thing that happened made Drake go to a whole other level of Karen. It's the same thing that set off Nicki. That's the clue. Don't say if you've guessed it, Mike. You can text it to me. Look at Mike's face. We're trying to make this provocative. Get the people going. Not you guys in here saying members rise. By the way, guys, if we do have time, we will have Mike come into the members room to talk to us. Mike, we have a little member section where it's behind the paywall so people can't see us talk crazy. It's a fun little thing. Mike, they're also, I don't know if you can see the comments. They're all excited that you're here.
Oh, hey, y'all. Thank you.
Leo and you needs to watch the playback, honey. And I spilled the tea.
No,
y'all.
I can't see the comments. I can only see you.
Y'all and Mike will get it when it makes sense. All right, let's start off with the beginning of this. And I did a copyright check. So, Lord, I done did a check. Let me make sure nothing else is going to get me copyrighted. Because one thing you guys need to know, Cardi's team has been striking down any content creator. I'm happy I waited a couple of days. Any content creator who has been posting the video of her screaming that was leaked has been getting a copyright strike for the last 48 hours. My YouTube is full of content creators crying that they can't pay their rent because Cardi was like, not so much. So I deleted a lot of this. This is what's left. I don't think it's gonna make Cardi mad at me. Let's watch a what?
You sure you want to play it?
No, I already ran it through the system, and the system said it was okay.
All right.
The system struck it. I removed the thing that got me in trouble. But if I get in trouble again, I'm just gonna mute it. Child, we'll see. All right, so let's watch a recap for those of you. I appreciate you for looking out for me, friend.
Back to another one of these. Who wants to be the motherfucking adult in the room?
That's not funny game.
Now, y'all done said a million times, no women, no children. But the women is starting to bring up the children.
Nicki Minaj called Cardi B's 7-year-old daughter a roach and a monkey yesterday. And I think this tweet pretty much sums up what went down on Twitter between Nicki Minaj and Cardi yesterday.
You know, when y'all start slinging mud like this and talking about each other's children, it's no longer entertaining to me.
Lace fronts, roaches and monkeys, gooey hole, Rock Nation, Barney, tilapia. Imagine all of these words being related right now. Dare I say, the ladies absolutely should fight physically. We should actually set it up. This has gone to the point of no return.
Cardi recently came out.
Mike, before we continue, I hate to say, maybe it's the Haitian in me. After Cardi has this baby, I'm not opposed to them fighting.
Oh, scrapping. They need to hit the street. Celebrity deathmatch. I don't want to be problematic, but they get the boxing gloves. Call Netflix, get it on live.
As a Caribbean woman, there is some ancestral DNA that is cathartic for you when you can just mollywop a bitch and get it out your system.
But the thing is, Nicki would never. Cardi is a.
We already know because Cardi tried to beat her up at the Met Gala.
Cardi already tried at the what was it? The Harper's Bazaar party.
Yeah. And Cardi tried, and Nicki ran and said, "Are you crazy?" And Cardi's like, "Yes, I actually am crazy." All right, let's watch this.
With her latest album, and around the time that this album came out, Nicki Minaj tweeted 3/27/26, hinting at some new music. Obviously could be nothing, but it didn't feel like nothing because then she said, "To every enabler, never provoke a writer while they're writing." You
100%, Mike. I'm 100%.
Watch your push today.
No part of me believes that album is actually coming out on that date. That album
ain't coming out on that date.
Mike, let's make a pact. If it does come on that date, let's go live and put it in the calendar. I'm going to send you a calendar for March. On the day that it's supposed to come out, you and I will get on here and eat crow if it comes out.
A la Wendy Williams.
Exactly. The same way Wendy Williams ate crow when Kanye and Kim lasted more than 17 minutes. If Mike and I are incorrect and she actually comes out with the album on that day, we will eat crow because no part of me believes that. It was reactionary.
Join the game as a willing participant. Don't try to back out now. 3/7/26, #Rock Bottom Nation, #Rock Inflation, #Rico Nation. You failed. Let the reindeer games begin. We #win again. Then we get into the Cardi B drama, you guys. Nicki Minaj posted a now deleted tweet that said $4.99, and everyone knew exactly what she was referring to. Cardi's new album, Am I the Drama, dropping to $4.99. She then ripped apart Cardi's song Magnet and the lyrics that go ABCDEFG, these bees can't F with me, making fun of these lyrics, calling the rhyme something that you would hear on Barney. She tweeted, Barney B, ABCDEFG, rap like Barney, still ugly, ABCDEFG, surgery to look like me, tell the rat and tell Jay-Z, Rico fraud and perjury, ABCDEFG, pregnant, play with his bussy. She also tweeted raw dog and pregnant with the fourth babe, Barney B, BV, HPV, allegedly. Cardi then got online to say, you must have missed me, huh, crazy, now kiss my feet. Nothing more annoying than a bored bee.
Okay. Mike, I feel like if Cardi had left it at that, we wouldn't be here right now. No, don't you agree? I feel like if Cardi had just that one sentence and let her keep ranting, like I see you, ho, I'm going back to making my blondies and my ribs. I don't think we'd be
See,
here right now.
This is why you don't fuck with a Libra. Especially a Libra woman.
Oh
This
yeah,
is why you
no.
don't fuck with a Libra.
A
Like
Libra
she
woman would go
said,
with a
she
junkie.
will take it to hell. She took it to the depths.
She took it to Satan's dingleberries, okay?
Hades. Okay.
Yeah.
The power I have making these bees come out of rehab every time. Go to your effing room. She then called her a Kane Barbie and also called out her.
The word is the soda, not Pepsi. Soda Barbie. For those of you who don't want me to get a copyright strike, you know what I mean.
Brother, who had been convicted of child crimes. She said, ABCDFG, your man have to snatch pee. Pee tastes like honeycomb. Your bro be touching 12-year-olds. Then she called her a Kane Barbie. She then tweeted a photo of Nicki Minaj's brother. She then joked, damn, she was street.
I'm so sorry. Okay. No, this is a serious matter.
But you know what? It was also educational because I didn't know what Nicki's brother looked like.
Oh, let me.
I was asking myself, who's that in a wig? And everyone was saying, oh, that's Nicki's brother. And then I was like, oh.
Let me tell y'all something as someone who had to cover Nicki and Cardi extensively for the Griot. Oh my God, why did I make you small? I had to cover this case. And the thing about the case that really turned my stomach was Nicki's brother was accused of SAing a 12-year-old girl. Not only did Nicki have his back, she paid for his entire legal defense.
Well, he was convicted.
And he was convicted. And then she paid for her husband's legal defense, and he got in trouble. So there are not one, but two people who have assaulted underage girls who Nicki has used her hard-earned money from her sales to defend, and not just financially. She's come up publicly and said those girls were fast. So you not only paid for the lawyers, you then, because I had to cover the young lady who Kenneth Petty was accused of SAing, I had to cover a story about how the lady and her daughter were at a function and a complete stranger rolled up to them on behalf of Nicki, allegedly, to offer them a bribe, and they had to move and quit their jobs because they were being surveilled, allegedly, by Nicki and Kenneth Petty's people. The woman had to go into witness protection, the street kind, not the government kind, because she was scared because they were paroling her in her neighborhood, allegedly. So my thing is, when you are harassing victims and paying for convicted abusers, that's not the same thing as Barney saying ABC. Immediately, we cannot pretend like Cardi and Nicki are playing with the same level. I'm sorry.
Every time you hear allegedly, just take a drink, y'all. Just take a drink.
Look, I've been to court and I always win. Even when I lose, I win. So I just need y'all to know I'm not going under. Oh, Monique's in here. Hey, Monique. We just got started. Cheers to Monique. One of these days, I need to have you and Monique come on for like a summer party. We could kiki about some real shit.
I would love that.
That'd be really fun. So I'm just saying, as someone who worked in the news and had to actually cover this, not just for gossip, but had to read affidavits, what Nicki has done legally and publicly, and the coercion that she has been accused of, that I believe, because I've actually read the documents and listened to the audios, to me, they're not the same. A hood bitch from the Bronx who likes to fight, even when she's pregnant, is not the same as paying for abusers. You and your husband can't live within 500 feet of schools. It's not the same. If Cardi wants to get rid of Nicki, all she has to do is build a playground. Sorry. Let me go back to. What, Mike? Did I do something? I'm trying to be responsible. All right, hold on. How do we do this again?
No, I
magnet hard as hell. Obviously.
Did you have something you want to say, Mike?
I think we'll get to it. It's just, you know, everything that you've highlighted in terms of Nicki paying for her brother's legal fees, Nicki paying for Petty's legal fees, their involvement in, you know, sexual abuse of children, Nicki's own history with abuse, the fact that Nicki
allegedly,
right, and honestly, I hate to say, but I think there's a part of me that might feel as though there's a sense of relief and or dread on Nicki's side if she were to have a daughter. I think there's an aspect of her that is elated that she has a young boy, and while having a young boy who may or may not be dealing with
Neurological disabilities.
developmental delays.
Mhm.
Allegedly, I don't know. I'm sure it's a lot for her, but that's also what we're talking about here. Like, everything that she's experiencing in terms of this beef and like the language and like the spiral that she's been experiencing way before Cardi is related to what's happening in her life and has happened in her life, and I feel bad. I feel bad that
I'm going to predict that within the year, something might come out about Nicki's marriage that's not coming from Cardi. That will. There are people who are working on things behind the scenes against Nicki that are not Cardi, and Cardi should be the least of her concerns. I'll just say that. Let's hit play.
Poking fun at the fact that Nicki was really paying attention to the lyrics of her song. Then she said, nah, cause I was really baking ribs and making blondie brownies, and here comes this bee bothering me on a damn Monday. She then said, why you keep bringing up my album? It's not the gag you think it is. You've been in the game like 16 years. You need to compare yourself to your peers that started around your time, Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Drake. Those are the numbers you need to be competing with, and you can't because you're doing lower than all of them. I was in high school when you came out. What the F is you comparing yourself to me for? She then said, all right, now this the third tweet talking about my pregnancy. Like, you wasn't going to different fertility doctors because you couldn't reproduce from all of them scrambling your eggs. Not allegedly. Lord protect my babies.
And then Nicki posted a picture of Cardi dressed as Barney and Jay-Z crying in a pink wig. I want to talk about this real quick, Mike. The fertility aspect of it, as a woman of a certain age, I do find it incredibly distasteful when women's reproductive anything becomes a sticking point. I 100% agree with, and I'm happy you said it first, that Nicki not having a daughter was a saving grace. That's my personal opinion. It's not a fact.
True, but I will say I can see the comments now, and to your point, Monique, yes, young boys can also succumb to the same type of abuse. It doesn't matter.
But her husband's type.
Nonverbal. But her husband's brothers, folks who might be around her, allegedly.
Caribbean men are incredibly homophobic, even though they can still do gay shit in the background. The kind of men that she has to deal with in her ecosystem, young girls are very specifically. Even though in general any child can be abused, it's the misogyny that Nicki has. There's a bit of Caribbean pick-me-isha. You know how they will coddle the son sometimes and make the eldest daughter make the plates? It feels very much like that mother who will baby her son but expects her daughter to be another mother in the house. And there's a point where there's a video we're going to watch later on in here where somebody points out Cardi has sons and daughters, but Nicki only attacks the daughters. We're going to get into that in a second. There's some weirdness with Nicki and women in general. Another piece of reporting that is not alleged, actually. Remy Ma, I had to write an article about this, came out and said that the reason why her and Cardi and so many other women have an issue with Nicki is not rap beef. Nicki would find out that Remy or Cardi was on the roster, and being the bigger star would call up different promoters and say, if she's on there, I'm not coming. Just so that Remy and Cardi couldn't eat. So this is not just public fodder. They're saying she would literally go out of her way to make sure I couldn't feed my family. So for me, the things about Nicki that make me feel disturbed are not the antics that we're all responding to. It's like, no, she means this. She means malice. This is not stuff on the internet. She literally doesn't want you and your family to be able to eat. Mike, what would you do if there was a saboteur who you knew repeatedly tried to stop your bag? Not just talking shit about you emotionally, but was repeating trying to stop your bag. Would you speak up, or would you try to pull a Beyonce and just like handle it privately behind the scenes?
I would handle it privately behind the scenes because I'm a huge believer in just faith and just my, and God, and no one can stop my bag. Like, what God has for me will always be mine and will always find me. So I'm more likely to handle things behind the scenes when it comes to stuff like that. And for individuals like a Nicki or anyone who might operate in that way, I think karma will come to them. It's not for me to even get involved or go down to their level. So that's.
But what do you think about someone who What do you think about somebody who hasn't stopped your bag but won't leave you alone after they fail? Because to your point, Cardi kept going, right? But what happens when they can't stop your bag and they still keep looking for you?
They won't find me.
So basically, Mike, you're Lotto. So
they
you're
won't
Lotto.
find me. They won't find me. The thing
You're
is,
Lotto.
if you continue to operate at a frequency that I can't hear or I don't belong to, I don't know what's happening. Like, you could be talking to the air for all I care. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that doesn't matter to me. It says more about that individual than it does about me. Now, could I be triggered by what someone says and then be like, well, I'm going to come down to your level and respond like Cardi has done? Absolutely. And I'm going to hand you your ass. But after I do that, I'm going to get to a certain point where I recognize what's happening and go back to living my life, which is what I am hoping that Cardi's doing. Because in your introduction, you mentioned that I think something along the lines of like Cardi still having a lot of growing to do, or Cardi kind of like she's still this girl from the hood. Yes, absolutely. But Cardi has grown a lot.
She has.
Cardi's grown a lot. And in our last chat, we talked about how we talked a little bit about her growth in her response to Crystal. So Cardi has grown, but at the same time, growth does not mean you're Mother Teresa. You say something that triggers me, I'm might be liable to come for your neck. And that's what she did. I think someone in the chat mentioned, I can't stand them both.
That's fair.
And that's fair. That is me
and Mike are not getting paid by Cardi or Nicki. We are trying to have fair. I will say this though,
because we have enough going on in our own lives. It's like, girls, can y'all get it together, please?
I will say though, there's only 1 degree of separation between me and Cardi. So I will say her birthday party in 2022 might have been the best party I've ever been to in LA. Because here's the thing, I have to say that because people like to find pictures and be like, this you. So I'm gonna call it out first, okay? Just because I was at Cardi's birthday party does not mean not too much on Blue, right?
Not this you.
Mike. There's a lot of pictures of me at that fucking party. I will say this though, to be fair, I just called out Nicki shit. We have to call out Cardi shit too, okay? Here's a video that Cardi, and we're gonna go back to the original video for those of you who are catching up. Here's a video of Cardi a couple of years ago with her original face and her original personality. And
not too much on my girl.
Let's see what she look. I told you I was gonna
If I gotta talk about your kids, I will. If you got rest,
let's play that again.
If I gotta talk about your kids, I will. If you got rest in peace, this and that, I'm gonna talk about that dead person that you talk.
Okay, so Mike, before Cardi had kids,
what was the full context of that clip though? Because I feel like that was in response to something, not take accountability or say she shouldn't take accountability for having said it. But I always like to have the full context of what's being asked, because it seemed like it was clipped from her being asked something or just a continuation of a conversation that they were having. So I just want to be mindful of that. But yeah, she did. I mean, she said she's gonna come for the kids, and she did. She came for the kid.
Well, the thing is, her thing is, don't come for my kids. I think Cardi Younger didn't have kids in that video. So to your point, this is about growth, right? In that video, she hadn't had children yet. And so my thought is, if you are on the record saying, I'll talk about your kids and your dead grandma, everything's off, then you have to see how the Barbs are saying, well, how are you acting like the kids being brought up is why you have to go turbo? Here's where I'll shoot Cardi some bail. She didn't say you couldn't respond. She just said that she's not above it.
And here's what I'll also add to that too, in terms of the growth conversation that we're having. Yes, you could be someone who doesn't have children and have a certain perspective on something, but once you do have kids, your mind changes. And just because her mind may have potentially changed, it doesn't mean that once they come for her kids, she won't come for theirs.
Exactly.
I think that like she was not the one to throw the first blow when it came to children in regards to this conversation. And I would dare say she wouldn't have brought up kids at all, being someone who has children now and knows what it feels like to stand up for your kids and be a mother. So I don't think she would have been the one to first hit in terms of like talking about kids. I don't think that. But
when we get to the kid conversation,
kids were brought up,
I will say this:
what happened.
My autism is very loud in this whole situation, which is ironic considering autism is the fucking supporting character in this beef, because Nicki called Cardi's children roaches and monkeys. Cardi pulled a Kendrick Dear Adonis, where she's speaking to the child facetiously from a place of concern. They're not the same to me. They're not the same to me. Using your child and saying, you poor thing, you have a twat as a mother, it's not the same thing as saying that you're a roach and a monkey. I'm sorry. She pulled a Kendrick. So anybody who clapped for Dear Adonis cannot take issue with the exact same approach on Cardi, even if you don't like her. If you're going to come for Cardi for taking the Dear Adonis route, you also have to come for Kendrick for doing the same thing. I think they're both very, very petty, though.
Sure, but like Nicki was like grasping for straws. Like she was grasping for anything. Like,
no, I'm talking about Cardi. Cardi used the Dear Adonis while Nicki was like, they're monkeys and roaches. And
yes. But the thing is, the only thing that Nicki can actually do is call these kids names, and none of it sticks because they're not. The thing is, culture is not ugly. Culture is by no means. That is a gorgeous kid. All of Cardi's kids are beautiful kids, and seemingly well put together, educated. I'm only saying seemingly because I don't know them personally, but from what I've seen on like social media, they seem very smart. They seem put together. They seem well mannered. Like they seem like good kids that overall the audience can kind of like see. So for it to even try to come after the kids, you would be grasping at straws to say anything about them, because what are you going to say? Whereas for Cardi did go into the depths of hell, but she went into the depths of hell with things that have already kind of like been alleged of Nicki's son that have been incredibly, that could be incredibly hurtful.
To me, the corner that Cardi turned was when she said your son's favorite color is 5. Give me a second. I'm still growing. Sorry, give me a second. I'm autistic and I still laughed. God's still working on me. I'm so sorry. Remember me different. I'm so sorry. See, we're human. We're human. Mike and I are just
that is human. So messed up.
No, it was terrible. And here's the thing. I am an autistic woman who constantly champions autistic people. Mike has an autistic sister, and we both have worked in comedy in some places, right? Mike, you were a comedy writer, right? And so there's this weird thing that happens where you're so displaced from it that you can objectively admit, y'all, nobody said we weren't problematic. Somebody said y'all crazy. Look, we're human, okay? We're humanized was the name of my we're human. If that was my problematic moment for the week, I'll eat that. I'm not gonna lie and say that your favorite color. Shut up, Mike.
No, Cardi got it with that one. She got it with that one. If we're gonna talk about like, let's put aside the kids for one moment.
Let's do that. Yeah.
If any of us are beefing with someone, and we are in a war of words with someone, we know we are. It gets to the point where we're shooting to kill. Yeah. Like, we are going to read them down, read them for filth. Like, I know, I'm sure many of us in the comments have been in situations where someone's had tried to read you and you're like, oh no, bitch, I'm going to read you for filth.
Yeah.
And when Cardi said that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to give you this round. I'm gonna have to give you this round because
And there were several autistic parents saying, yo, my son is nonverbal, and I still laughed. Y'all, I'm sorry. Autistic people, we have a sense of. All right, so let's go back to the video so me and Mike can get some grace for it. Mike, I thought you were gonna hold it together. I thought you were a good cop. What the fuck? All right, let's just watch the video.
So shared this photo of Cardi B as Barney and then Jay-Z crying with money. Now, how Cardi B and Jay-Z seem to be wrapped up in all of this drama with Nicki Minaj, it seems to be because of a new song that Cardi B has released on her new album. So Nicki Minaj has recently been very vocal in accusing Jay-Z and Roc Nation, and specifically Roc Nation's CEO Desiree Perez, of unfair business dealings. She claims that she is owed up to $200 million tied to her equity in Tidal.
To Nicki's point, if you owe me $200 million, I would die mad too. I'm not even gonna hold you. If Nicki really believes that Tidal owes her $200 million, but what I kept on hearing is she didn't sign the document. Have you heard anything about the Tidal beef, Mike?
I have.
Yeah, and for those who are saying that us laughing is disgusting, you're entitled to that opinion. I just need you to understand, though, that there's a bunch of people with autistic children and people who are autistic who are also laughing. So just be very clear that we're not in a minority here. It's possible to be autistic and still find something funny. And so virtue signaling doesn't work here. And if you're going to be fragile in any kind of way, you might want to leave the chat. Like, that's not me being passive aggressive. That's me giving you permission to understand that nowhere are me and Mike going to be perfect. We're going to be honest. And pandering to the perception of perfection doesn't serve anybody on this platform. So if you didn't find the joke funny, that's fine. If I did, I was honest about it. At least I'm not being fake to you like your faves who talk shit behind the scene. I'll do it in the camera.
Which is Jay-Z's company. And well, on Cardi's new album, one song titled Imaginary Players, in the new track, Cardi B raps about fame and fashion, and it is over a sample of Jay-Z's song Imaginary Players. Cardi B seemed to say that Jay-Z himself approved the final song when she was doing interviews. And so I don't know if this song and her getting this approval from Jay-Z has Nicki upset since she's beefing with Jay-Z or what, but clearly the drama is hot here. And
so guys, this is the part where I tell you what I was told. And the person who told me said it was okay for me to say this as long as I didn't bring up their name. We all know that Nicki has been going off for a very long time about Roc Nation, right? And we know that Jay-Z does not clear a lot of songs because he's really, really, and understandably so, protective of his legacy. So to get Jay-Z to let you do a cover of a song of his, and for Cardi to go on, the song is called, what is it? International Players? What is it called? Something Players? Mike, what's the song called that Cardi did on her album? I want to make sure I get the song name right. Cardi B. The song that Cardi did on her thing called Imaginary Players, right? It's considered an old school hip hop classic that Jay-Z did that he allowed Cardi to do. When Cardi went on her promo tour, she made it clear to everybody, not only did Jay-Z give me the sample, thank you for Imaginary Players, not only did Jay-Z give me the sample, he listened to it and approved it before it came out to the public. Now follow me here, Mike, and everybody else. Hove giving you, I can't believe I'm about to say this on camera, but I got permission. Hove giving you permission to do his song, and y'all being friendly enough for you to be able to publicly say that he was able to listen to the final edit, right? That speaks to a friendliness that you're okay with the public knowing about. Hove is the biggest target that Nicki Minaj has been obsessed with for the last several years, yes? Hove also works with the NFL. Hove had a hand in Bad Bunny being slated to do the Super Bowl halftime show next year.
And who do you think? A hand in every performer since
every performer
Nation has taken.
And who do you think they have been having loose conversations about joining Bad Bunny as a guest at the halftime show next year?
I wouldn't be surprised if Cardi joined him.
The same way that Drake was a sore loser but became a Karen as soon as Kendrick was announced. It's the Bad Bunny announcement that made Nicki lose her shit because she knows they're trying to insert Cardi in it. Well, it's very, very early days for those negotiations, but the feeling of my nemesis is about to put this bitch in a halftime show with Bad Bunny completely made her come undone. This is the same person who can't even stand not being nominated for different categories at the Grammys. The halftime show is considered a big deal for. It's not about the money. It's considered like their gold ring, right? So you guys think this is all about a lyric in a song? I've been told by people who I very much trust, this is Nicki trying to bait Cardi into being unmarketable to the NFL so that they feel funny about allowing her to join Bad Bunny for the NFL halftime show. What are your thoughts, Mike?
That's a lot. Wow. I am not in the same conversations that Blue is in, so I don't know about any of that. I can't necessarily speak to that. I do know just from an interview that I heard of Cardi's before that she has been asked to do the Super Bowl in the past or something, like it just hasn't been the right time. And if anything, this would be a great time for Cardi to be a part of the Super Bowl, or to be a part of it. So I get that for sure. But to what you're saying, this is also two individuals who are titans of their industry, Cardi and Nicki, who are engaging in a Titan type beef that we have a front row seat to, but honestly may not know much about besides the language that's being spewed back and forth. Like, we don't know what's necessarily happening behind the scenes. So I'm like grateful to you, Blue, for like I guess expounding on like what may be happening behind the scenes. But even to that point, it might be more than that, because this beef has been happening for a very long time. Even the accusation of Cardi being like an industry plant, you know what I mean? While I think that isn't true at all, because Cardi has come a long way and has worked incredibly hard to get to where she is, I do think that there is a level of favoritism that may have happened, that happens in any industry when it becomes difficult to work with somebody and you find someone else that's just incredibly charming, that's hardworking, that's willing to play ball, that's willing to work, and is just incredibly grateful and operates from a place of grace that is more attractive. So then to the other individual, it may look like that person is an industry plant, when in actuality, no, they're not. They just work hard and they're humble and they're graceful and they're doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So it's just,
but here's the thing though, Mike, about
nuances are involved in this.
If you know that you are, because this all happened right when the announcement came out about Bad Bunny. If you know that you are in talks to have a moment for Latinos while ICE is being threatened to be outside the Super Bowl, because this is a cultural moment.
That's very smart.
Right? And then you know that your biggest op is trying to bait you to come undone after you've done all this work to try to figure out how to evolve from your past. It makes me wish even harder that Cardi had paid her dust, knowing what's at stake. And at one point when she tried to dead it a day ago, I've heard that she's back on now. Like, Cardi couldn't stay off. She said, "I'm not fucking up my endorsements for this."
I saw that. I did see that.
That was a nod to the conversations about the NFL, I was told. And so my thing is, conversations that are being had, allegedly. This is all allegedly, guys, right? And so I think for me, there's something so dark-sided in trying to bait someone into losing a blessing. Because it feels like, we know you don't fuck with Jay-Z. We get that, right? You and Hope have your own thing. Cardi is pregnant. A part of me is like, there have been so many conversations about Nicki, again, allegedly having fertility issues. I almost feel like there are people in this world that I cannot stand. For you to be trying to get a pregnant woman to come undone when you know how sensitive women are during their pregnancy, if God forbid Cardi B's blood pressure rises and she gets preeclampsia, how are you going to feel? Nicki probably might not care. I would actually feel like shit, right? Even if it was somebody I don't mess with. There's something about Nicki for me that I'm going to say feels like she might have a diagnosis that we don't know about. She feels mentally unwell to me. This feels darker than just rap beef, and darker than business, and darker than dislike. What are your thoughts around that, Mike, before we go back to the video?
I think that I think there might be some validity to that. I am cautious in expressing the same thought, only because this is something that we've seen of her for quite a while now. It could be something that is narcotically motivated.
Two things can be true.
Two things can be true, absolutely.
Yeah.
And because it might potentially be narcotics or whatever that might be, and it might be a what's the term I'm looking for?
Addiction.
Yes, but also just like a mechanism to self-regulate oneself, like something like
self-medicate,
to self-medicate, to help you escape, to kind of like to cope with whatever it is that you might be experiencing just in your life. You know what I mean? And it feels like that's been happening for quite a while for her. So yeah, I'm not sure. The thing is, I love Nicki's music. Like Nicki is undeniable. She is an undeniable talent. So I'm more concerned than anything else, because I'm just kind of like, you're so good. You are so good at what you do.
Do you know what Ice Spice said? Ice Spice said, I love Cardi because Nicki's talent is so unattainable. Cardi made me feel like maybe I could be a rapper. I said, is that a backhanded compliment, Ice Spice?
Well, I feel like that's how a lot of people, that's Taylor Swift's main core audience.
Oh.
Let me not.
How did Taylor Swift get us straight? Did you not just tell me that you were trying not to piss off Swift?
I'm done. I'm sorry. She's a great songwriter.
Mike, do you want to?
A great songwriter for sure.
Beautiful.
I'm trying to listen. Let's get back to the thing at hand.
Let's get back.
I don't think these two will be working out anything anytime soon. Everything is extremely messy. They're coming for each other in a bunch of different ways. But just when you think it can't get any crazier, while Nicki and Cardi B were going at it on Twitter, Ice Spice posts this emoji. And then it is said that she teased a new song that is said to be a diss track about Cardi B. And then a audio clip surfaced online allegedly capturing Cardi B angrily talking about the Ice Spice track. She also rejects comparisons while in this recording to Lotto or Nicki Minaj, insinuating she's not a P like Lotto.
Okay, we're about to listen to this Lotto clip. I had to interrupt it because I want to make it less than 10 seconds so that they don't come for me. All right, let's listen to what she's about to say about Lotto.
I really don't know. You don't know? I'm a show ya. I'm not Lotto. You think I'm Lotto? You think I'm Nicki?
Now, guys, before we get into the Lotto of it all, I want to infuse a little bit of being objective, because I can't say that other word. I am someone who always tells my friends to find a way to hold people compassionately accountable. Mike was going through something a while ago where it was me and a friend, we were giving advice, and one person said, tell it like it is, and I said, be compassionate. Mike at one point said, Blue, I know you be on that compassionate shit, but I'm not you. I didn't have no compassion in the moment. Saying I'm not Blue, I didn't have no compassion, is the same thing that Cardi is saying here. It's not a slight to me to say I'm not Blue. I'll fuck you up. You see what I'm saying, Mike? Because Lotto and Cardi both have beef with Nicki. Lotto, the level-headed Capricorn, and Capricorns are 112 until they're 30, right? Capricorns are Benjamin Buttons. They're born old and they get younger and lighter as they age.
What you would say? I'm not Shamia.
I'm not Shamia, right?
I'm not Shakari.
So Lotto keeping it cute with Nicki when they had beef. Cardi is saying, I'm not Lotto. I will fuck you up. If we have beef forever. My friends constantly say that about me, guys. My friends constantly say, I'm not Blue. I will fuck you up. I'm not Blue. I ain't got no compassion today. Mike has done it. So Mike, from that standpoint, do you think the Lotto thing is as egregious as it's being twisted? Because I immediately understood what she was saying.
Yeah, I immediately understood also. So I'm not,
I'm the Lotto in the situation, guys. I wouldn't. I'm the Lotto.
Right, this ain't Phaedra. Like, this ain't Phaedra.
And for those who've asked, are we going to talk about Cardi B and her anger? You guys, we're not going to talk about water being wet. Cardi B has anger management issues.
No, we can't. We can't. I mean,
she's violent. Like, but I'm saying it's not a big like she's violent.
Here's what I'll say about.
She's violent.
I wish that she hadn't. I wish kids were not brought up at all.
I agree.
Like, do you know what I mean? I wish the kids were not brought up at all. They didn't ask to be brought up. It's something that they were going to have to grow up and see. It's something that other people will always bring up to them. It's ammunition that other people that will always be able to pull up and just be like, here, this is what so-and-so was saying about you when you were a kid. Like, and that is something that these children did not ask for. And I think someone earlier mentioned like it being like disgusting and it not being funny. You're absolutely right. It is disgusting and it's not funny at all. While two things could also be true, because I found it absolutely hysterical in the moment. But you're absolutely but also it is disgusting and it should not have happened at all, especially while Cardi is pregnant. Like, listen, as someone who I'm sure also believes in karma also believes in the energy that you put out is the energy that you receive. You have to be mindful about those things, especially as a pregnant person, and then bringing up someone else's child who might have developmental delays. Like, girl, you are still baking a baby. So that's my only thing where I'm just kind of like,
no, it's my biggest thing is she's pregnant. She shouldn't be doing this pregnant. But I'm going to say this right now, guys. I'm going to repeat it for me, not for Mike. This is not the first time that Bluecentric has found an inappropriate joke funny. It's not the first or the last. I found it funny and I found it disgusting and inappropriate. We've all sent inappropriate memes to our friends that we would never post in our stories. If you came here to virtue signal or to bully me into being a fake ass bitch, you might want to leave. Again,
it was
disgusting and I found it funny.
I was caught off guard by how funny I found it. Because the
fact you saw us both be shocked.
The fact of the matter is, I didn't know 5 was going to be there.
Mike, don't bring it. Mike, stop. Okay, let's watch the video. Let's have a teachable moment. Mike.
If you've ever felt like the narcissist, toxic person in your life is using somebody else to make you doubt yourself, that's called triangulation. Triangulation is one of the sneakiest ways that narcissists keep control. It's when they use another person to create drama, attention, or even competition in your relationship. They may constantly bring up an ex saying things like, you know, so-and-so never complained about this, or so-and-so never did this, just to make you feel inadequate. And they might create jealousy by talking about someone new in their life, whether it's real, exaggerated, to get a reaction from you. And a lot of the times they'll pit you against a friend or a family member. You know, even they think you're too sensitive, or even my friends think that you were overreacting about this. And this is made to isolate you, to make you question yourself. And the goal is simple: keep you doubting your worth, fighting for their attention, and distracted from the real issue, which is their behavior. And the worst part is it's not about this other person at all. It's about making sure that you're too off balance and confused to see the truth about what's really happening in your relationship.
Okay, so you guys, why did I just post that clip? I posted that clip because you guys know that we're coming this from an emotional intelligence perspective, and emotional intelligence is not me being perfect and self-righteous. So for those of you who don't know what the word means, look it up, right? So I don't have to be perfect to be emotionally intelligent. Triangulation is what happened when somebody has beef with you and they intentionally try to bring in other people to create chaos and make it seem like everybody has beef with you as a way to be a proxy for their beef with you. So it's like, oh, I'm mad at Mike. Rather than just saying, hey, Mike, I have a problem with you. I'm saying, Mike, you know, I don't like the way you treated me last week. And the last time I talked to Jamie didn't like it either. And neither did Craig. Me, Craig, and Jamie think that you were the problem. It could have been a me and you conversation, but now I've triangulated it and put you in me, you, and third parties as this fucked up psychological threesome to manipulate you, right? The thing I don't like about what's happening is that the whole Nicki and Ice Spice and Lotto is, I've repeatedly seen triangulation happening here, where a beef between two people is now involving tons of people. Cardi even said at one point, why do you keep on bringing up Rock Nation? My question is, I'm not sure if Nicki is mad at Rock Nation and Cardi is the back door, or if Nicki's mad at Cardi and Rock Nation is the back door. It just feels like a lot of the girls are being pulled into this, and it makes me nervous that now we have JT, Santana, Ice Spice, Lotto, Barney, and friends. Barney caught a shred, right? This is textbook triangulation. Mike, what are your thoughts about this? Absolute fucking chaos. And to me, I think that Cardi B has no emotional regulation. And somebody said in here, they said Cardi is a bird and Nicki is a narc. We're not going to diagnose people. I do think Cardi is a bird and Nicki is narcissistic, because it means personality traits, but not like diagnosed. I think Nicki moving narcissistically and Cardi being a bird is a perfect summation of why, to me, they're both chaotic, but they're not the same. Thoughts, Mike? Because a bird will beat your ass and is easy to egg on. A bird is easy to pull out of character and will threaten to come fight you and be like, where you at? A narcissistic person will be more strategic and find ways to triangulate and create chaos and force you out of the shadows to respond. Both suck, by the way.
I'm not gonna participate.
You guys, pause for a second, Mike. We said narcissistic, not narcissism. You can call anybody narcissistic. We didn't diagnose.
I hear you.
Because they love to make that point. Why are you diagnosing? Narcissistic is a trait. It's not a diagnosis.
I hear you for sure. Well, first thing I'll say is, in terms of involving everyone in the triangulation of it all and what Nicki has done in response to Cardi's album, this has been the best rollout of an album that we have seen in a very, very long time.
Mike, what? You think that this is
this has been the best rollout of an album, because the thing is, you had the trial, you had Cardi hitting the street with the CDs and the viral photos from the trial. You have this beef that's taking place, and keep in mind, y'all, beef like this and discourse like this when albums have come out has been happening for a long time. Like, we can take it back to like Jay-Z and Nas and like all those, like we can take it back to Tupac and Biggie, and like while it has been a beef in the past, they've also been these whether intentional or unintentional tactics to boost record sales.
Yeah.
So Cardi's winning regardless. And I think also Nicki's winning, because they went and her fans went and streamed the fuck out of her music. Do you know what I mean?
They both got richer from this. They both got richer from this.
They both got richer from this. So back to your question in terms of like my feelings on who they each are as individuals. The narcissistic aspect of this, and this is just in general for any person that might have narcissistic tendencies, the worst thing you can do with someone like that is continue to feed them information and or to continue to volley with them, because they feed off of that and they love that. And this is for everyone in the chat. When you encounter someone who might have narcissistic ways, the best thing you could do is be quiet. Don't give them any energy. Just remove yourself from the situation completely, because their weapons of choice are manipulation and gaslighting. And when they're not able to entrap you in those spaces, they spiral, and you let them spiral by themselves. You do not say anything. You do not engage. That's what you do.
Cardi being quiet with the best.
Narcissistic. So, so I mean, that's all I'll say about that. I'm not going to subscribe to what either of them might be, but that's what you would do for someone who's narcissistic.
And it's so funny, because if I had Cardi as a client, everything I would have advised her to do would have been very different than what she ended up doing. And Nicki just posted a video that I want to play. I just showed while Mike was talking. DoorDash said, we have beef on DoorDash today if anybody's hungry. And now apparently Nicki posted a video.
Amazing.
DoorDash is like, we're gonna get this money. And now Nicki posted a video I haven't seen yet addressing Black women who defend Cardi B. I'm not one of them. I'm a Black woman who's not defending anybody. I'm unpacking the nuances and saying they're both problematic. That's not how defending works. So words mean things. And so let's watch this video real quick that Nicki wants us all to see.
Women sticking up for Cardi B will just never sit right with me. I don't care what y'all say, because you are not going to convince me that somebody that has them to say
artists that are dark skinned, they don't get the deals that I get. You want to know why? Because they just don't know how to market themselves. They're just not smart enough.
Black women sticking up for Cardi B will just never sit right with me. I don't care what y'all say, because you are not going to.
So to his point, the reason why Nicki chose Cockroach and Monkey was because previously Cardi had gotten in trouble for saying that in the hood we call people cockroaches and monkeys. That wasn't about colorism for me. That was me being a hood bitch. And so because that's followed people, Cardi around her entire career, which is why it's so funny that you guys say that nobody holds Cardi accountable. But if you go in the comment section, y'all won't stop talking about holding her accountable. So that's not true, right? People are constantly chastising Cardi for using cockroach and using monkey as hood terms and not recognizing that the anti-Blackness that's built into those terms. That's why Nicki chose those words, because she was trying to do a dog whistle to Black women to immediately have her side just because we're Black women. I didn't fall for it personally. I can still think you're fucking wrong, even though you're trying to make the poor Black part of me rise up. Again, that is triangulation, guys. Again. So the thing is, she is trying to get, Cardi doesn't want to get a reaction from you. She wants to cuss Nicki out and fight her. Wrong, but different. Nicki wants us. She wants the public. Wrong, but different. Nicki wants us to hate Cardi as much as she hates Cardi. Cardi wants to beat up Nicki. Those are two very different agendas. Mike, am I wrong? Do you not see the difference?
Cardi said, I'm ready to fight. Like, enough with the talking. I'm ready to
fight right the fuck now. And to your point,
fight.
I'm gonna play a clip of someone that I do not like. And so my gut is like,
but before you do, I just want to speak to that video. Because oftentimes there's certain language that is used to take you down a certain path and try to navigate the conversation in a way that's not the direction that we should be going. And I think something that becomes dangerous to say is, oh, why is so-and-so taking sides? Like, the fact of the matter is that most of us here, if not all of us here, understand both sides. And we are not taking sides. We're sitting here having a conversation and discourse in regards to how both of these individuals are in the wrong in terms of what they are saying and or what they are doing. Similarly to how adults handle their children. When your kids are beefing, you're not like, da-da-da-da. It's like, y'all both wrong. Y'all both need to go sit down.
Uh-huh.
So the idea of posting something like, oh, I don't understand why you're on so-and-so's side. That's not the conversation at hand. That's not the issue.
And somebody posted, when she was a stripper, she was on survival mode. I will say this too, like, we all say when we're trying to be passive aggressive online, please heal, which is unfortunate because when I say please heal, I actually mean that shit. When we say please heal, or when we say take accountability, or when we say you need to evolve, at what point do we actually allow that to happen? If Nicki had been nasty and mean-spirited and malicious and fucking up everybody's bag for 5 years, and then for the next 5 years she course-corrected, I'd be the first person up here pointing that out. And Mike, you know me, you know I would. I'd be like, be fair. I'm about accountability, not being punitive. And so my thing is, if me and Mike ever mention anywhere that Cardi has evolved because she's not in survival mode, that's not us absolving her. It's us acknowledging the evolution you all claim you want. If anything, I'm waiting for Nicki to do something that I can clap for because I'm tired of chastising her. I'm waiting for Nicki to do anything that I can be like, girl, look at you growing. I'm looking for anything at this point.
I'm not looking for anything. I just more so and I say that not out of like a dig. I just want her to be able to live her life and like be happy and enjoy it. and like just enjoy life. And at times it just makes me sad. It doesn't seem like she's enjoying life because it's always
miserable.
There's always like some kind of like complaint seemingly. And the times in which I have felt her enjoying anything is when she's talking about her son, and I love that. So for a mother to be experiencing that much joy with their child, and then for you to turn around and come after someone else's kid, I'm just kind of like, what? And mind you, on both sides, I'm just kind of like, whoa, let's calm down here and like realize what, like, there's bigger things to fry in life, and there's bigger things to like priorities in terms of being able to like, just enjoy your life. So to your point is, I don't care. I more so just want her to go off and just continue to enjoy her life. And it just doesn't seem like she has enjoyed it.
But the funny thing is, you just gave an example of the thing I'm waiting to root for. If I saw Nicki just being less miserable, I'd be excited about that. And I'd want to talk about it. I'd be like, look at Nicki, look at happy and minding her business and not fucking up somebody else's bag. And for those who are talking, like for me, the weird thing is the EQ coach in me is always waiting for a nice surprise. Like, look at you. You want to talk to the lady. Like, I'm always waiting for a nice surprise with everybody. Mike, you know that the people that we have known personally, where everybody's been like, that's how they are. I'm like, well, can we hold out hope just for one more second that they might surprise us in a nice way? I'm always waiting to see if someone might decide to evolve last minute. And so when y'all use the whole black woman thing, I'm going to say this on the camera on record. Nicki Minaj using her black womanhood in order to absolve her of taking responsibility for her actions will never work on me, because we're not going to talk about Cardi. Remy Ma is a black woman. Meg Thee Stallion is a black woman. You don't get to dance on the proverbial graves of other black women who you think you have more power than, and go out of your way to stop them from feeding their families and mock them after they've been abused, and pay for lawyers for their abusers to be absolved of taking accountability, and harass victims allegedly of your husband who are also women of color because you think it's okay. But as soon as it's your turn, suddenly black women have to stick together. What about all the black women that you have intentionally and directly used your money and your platform to attack? What about them? Until Meg Thee Stallion stops being a black woman, that black woman shit is not going to work on me, Nicki. I'm sorry. And that's not about beef. That's about critical fucking thinking. And here's the thing. Cardi might think back in the day, Cardi might have called y'all roaches and monkeys. Current day, Nicki thinks you're sheep. Bad. Mike, you have anything to say, or do you want to go to the video? She thinks you're a sheep. Cardi thinks you're a monkey, but Nicki thinks you're a sheep.
Not bad. I'm dead. Let's proceed on to the video, chat.
Let's watch the fucking video, friend.
I figure out where this is from, because I guess Cardi thinks that Ice Spice dissed her on some song, but it's not really a diss, it's like a sneak diss, she thinks?
Yeah, well, usually these artists know. I mean, an artist will know better than you, right? So it's like, what the fans don't realize a lot of times, a lot of things are happening in the background. They even hear records before us. So sometimes we might hear something and be like, yo, you're just wilding out. I'm not saying certain times artists don't wild out, but she probably knew there might be a little jab there, a little sneak diss. And yeah, you know, Cardi, one thing I do like about her, shit, she gonna attack it directly. I always tell people that, yo, me and Cardi, when we first started talking, we got into it. Never, you know why we have a great relationship now? Because she could have just went online and be like, yo, this bitch ass nigga academics, but she said, yo, let me go talk to you, and our conversation, no matter how it goes, let's see if we can figure it out there. And yeah, that conversation was disrespectful at first, and then it got to a respectful place.
You guys, this is a little bit of tea. I have watched somebody behind the scenes have an argument with Cardi B. Mike doesn't know this. And I was, you know, when you in the corner like, ooh, this is going to be funny in my memoir, but I would like to leave now. I'm uncomfortable. And I watched them have a tussle. Okay.
Was it with who I know? Was it with who I think it is?
Don't start guessing on camera, Mike. We can have this conversation. You always do this, Leo. I watched Cardi get into an argument with someone behind the scenes with no cameras, and I watched them be a fucking stack and then come to an honorable conclusion and make it right. She didn't stop them. She was talking greasy. They were talking greasy, and they figured it out. And so I can personally, even though I don't fuck with Academic, and I know he's incredibly problematic, a broken clock is right twice a day.
I mean, I was about to say why you platforming him, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I even have him in the dark shop. I'm trying to put him in the shadows. You can barely see his face. So I can personally say, to his point, that Cardi, if you come to her directly behind the scenes without all the public shit, she actually will have a conversation with you. I can attest to that personally. That's not hearsay.
But we kept it private. So when that happens and people ain't involved, you can resolve issues. Now, once it's online, you can't resolve it. Because the fans is looking at you like, I know you're not pussy. I know you're not about to let this motherfucker say this. Right? Like even this Lotto stuff.
Cardi B took to Twitter to address the leaked audio that came out last night. I was ranting and hot at the moment, but I fuck with Lotto heavy. I respect everything about her, including her team. That's so sweet. And nope, I'm not too prideful to apologize to somebody I really respect. So this is my public apology, and now I'ma privately buy her a bag. Well, Cardi, can you publicly disrespect me and then privately buy me something? My birthday is coming up. But
Cardi said, yo, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. She a roundabout way apologized to Lotto, but it's not like, oh my God, I'm sorry. No, she said, hey, yeah, that's what I said, but I'm cool with you. Like, put it like this, yo, put it like this. If I'm talking to somebody, right? Or I say somebody have a viral moment on your show. They have a viral moment on your show, and I don't know, they curse you out and kick over the table and walk out, right? That person come to my show, right? Or before they even come to my show, say, I'm arguing with them, and they be like, yeah, I'm gonna do your show. And we having the same conversation. I'm like, nigga, you're not gonna do me like Vlad? That's not me dissing, right? Like, we can't take everything as a diss. Like, and these are Nicki fans, because Nicki fans are in the midst of this. They want other people to squabble Nicki's beef versus Cardi. And actually, I don't really mess with Nicki like that, but I like how she been called out Rock Nation. I can't cap. But Nicki gonna have to handle her fair one with Cardi. This like third party beef, let me throw Ice Spice in the mix. Yo, Lotto, you ain't hear what she said? I seen there was captioning that Meg Thee Stallion was dissed in that. I ain't hear that. So really, she mentioned Lotto. Why is that relevant? It's an analogy. Yo, I'm not Lotto. Lotto, when they were having their back and forth, came in New York, shot up video, and then cooler heads prevail.
Yeah, they did a song together.
Yeah, cooler heads prevail. Cardi is trying to say, nigga, I'll knock your head off. Like, I'm not trying to be cool with you.
Yeah.
Right?
It gets to a point where it's
They
not
have-
about, oh, there's more?
No, this is the perfect segue. I was talking about, do you think it's the point of no return?
For Cardi and Nicki?
Yeah. You were saying it gets to a point. I don't want to interrupt your thought. You said it gets to a point.
Well, to answer your question first, I want to say that the fan in me and just being a fan of like just female rap, I would love to see a moment where they come together and like give us another like motorsport, like because like motorsport, like they had the best verses. You forget the man were on the track.
I actually did. Yeah, I did.
So I would love something like that. Will I ever see it? Possibly, probably not.
Yeah.
Would I like to? Yes. Additionally, when it comes to the whole going public versus having a private conversation of it all, I think Cardi would love to have a private conversation. And she was even on the Breakfast Club not too long ago talking about a situation that she had with someone earlier where they got on the phone and they may have like yelled it out, but ultimately came to an understanding and had a good conversation about it. Well, I mean, later she discovered that woman was fucking her man, but they had a private conversation about it. And also, Santana tried to have a private conversation with JT in regards to just like, girl, let's keep it in the chat. We do not have to make it public, because if we're going to make it public, then certain things are going to be said. You know what I mean? And all to say that I do think that there's an aspect of this where folks want to take it public. They want it to be as public as possible, because at the end of the day, that is going to help their numbers. And I think that is, for the most part, why they do it. I don't think they do it out of wanting to more so wanting to publicly scorn that person than getting their numbers up.
Yeah. I'm worried about her health. I just think having this kind of argument about somebody's pregnant. Yeah, having this kind of argument about somebody's pregnant. bone in my body feels uncomfortable with this happening while she's pregnant, regardless of who is right or wrong or whatever.
I hear that.
And also, too, I will say, I've only witnessed one of Cardi doing that, but I've heard of several other times where she has done that. I have heard the complete opposite of Nicki. Nicki will call you, cuss you out, and then go live right afterwards, and then tell everybody what she said about you. So, okay, let's play the video. Child, it's hard for me to do the whole stand thing because real life be looking different than the stories y'all tell on Twitter. If both of them are willing to get on the phone, but one of them actually wants to dead it and the other one just wants fodder to make fun of you on Queen Radio, y'all can't keep calling them the same coin. Y'all can't. And honestly, too, why is this important? Because if you are, and I'm going to tell you why this is bigger than Cardi or Nicki for me before we get into the next clip. If you are someone who is a decent human, you're not amazing, but you're a decent person, you're not the devil, right? But you have anger management issues. You have normalized toxicity in your veins. You had a past that you're still growing from, right? And you're sincerely trying to evolve. I don't want you to think that any time that you tussle with the devil, the perceived devil, that it's okay for people from a distance to say that you and the devil are the same thing. Jeez. We've all been in situations. There's something that's called reactive abuse, guys. When you're dealing with an actual narcissist, not a suspected narcissist, but somebody who's been diagnosed. A lot of people who have felt abused and maligned by people who are narcissist and not just narcissistic have a thing that they call reactive abuse, where you start swinging back because you're tired of being pounded on. In a court of law, that's actually used as a way to mitigate your responsibility because it's a trauma response to being abused. And so, bigger than Cardi, if there's anybody out there who's ever felt like someone was on their ass and just making them feel small consistently and would not let them breathe, the first time you lash out, no one is allowed to tell you that you're two sides of the same coin. That is not fucking true. As somebody who's worked with domestic violence victims, that is not true. Reactive abuse is a response to someone finally making you snap. And that is very fucking different, which is why I bristle when y'all pretend that they are the same. Just have to get that off. Mike, any thoughts before we go to the video?
I agree.
Okay.
Reached a point of no return. I don't believe that there's any room in the future, any room for now of any sort of reconciliation. They will never be cool. This fuel will go to the end of time.
So she started off by saying culture a vulture and her mama a crow. So stupid not to see once Wendy ate that crow what happened. They played you to do that hex on yourself. You flop A heavy tongue. Cokie B, please don't sniff with baby number 4 and 5. Word to Carlos. Culture, you a roach and a monkey like your sister. Barney Dangerous, Bodega Barney. What up? Your sister can get that chest caved in if you pregnant with another monkey or roach right now. I'm just saying for entertainment purposes only. Culture vulture, you ugly too. Mind you, this is a grown woman. This is a 40-something-year-old woman. And then someone else said, Cardi can't keep trying to play into the fact that it's Papa Bear's birthday, because when it was Culture's birthday, she was literally arguing on the Shade Room and on Spaces. You do the same thing, it's not a drag. And Nicki said, F the vulture's B-Day. Now mind you, she's talking about a 7-year-old little girl. So then Cardi started talking about Nicki Minaj's son. She said, Papa Bear, I'm so sorry you can't speak and banging spoons because your mom couldn't put the drugs down. I'm sorry your mom not even paying attention to you on your own birthday because she's such an obsessed and dark-spirited hating hoe. I'm so sorry. And then she said, you said F vulture what? BF that slow A son that came out your pee. You was wishing so much negativity on me while I was pregnant, and look at your karma. Look at what your rotten pee produced. Now he's a whole 5-year-old tippy-toeing around the house and can't spell his name.
That's too far. That is wild. That is wild. So for those who are saying, are we going to hold Cardi accountable? We're playing both, guys. We're playing both.
And then she said, B, you wish you could call my daughter ugly, and you know that. Your hate is so deep, dark, and nasty because your son is nonverbal because you effed him up with them drugs, so you so jealous of everybody kids and their happiness. B, where the F you at? Stop talking. And then Nicki said, album flop, P flop, never want to fight, outrank you in your own gang, shut the F up, come fight. Sympathy baby couldn't pull 228K.
Now, okay, I'm about to have a tism. Nicki's trying to say that her and Cardi are not on the same level because Nicki got 228K for Pink Friday 2 and Cardi got 200. Being within 30K of each other is the same level, guys. Respectfully. Mike, am I crazy? Tell me if I'm missing something. If I got 200K and you got 228K, we are actually peers. Mike, am I nuts?
Not just that, but it's her sophomore album after 7 years.
We are peers. What are you talking
she's
about?
Still able to generate those numbers and sit within the same bracket as you. Like, come on. Come on.
Peers don't mean that you guys always get the exact same number. Some of you are being so unintelligent in order to gas this up. We can just talk. There's enough real mess making things up. If I got 200K and you got 228K, let's do the reverse.
It's Blue. It's not that, and I don't think we even need to go that far. I think that when you are a stan and you're really wanting to defend your person, you're going to say what you need to say to defend your person. It doesn't mean that you're right. Do you know what I mean? You're just going to say whatever you need to say in order to make you feel better. But like, if we're looking at this subjectively as just people who consume art, and I'm sure we all in here, we consume art, we can look at the numbers and we can look at the history and be like, girl, you're really grasping at straws when you're in terms of this discussion. Because when we do look at the history, it's her sophomore album after 7 years. And she was able to produce those numbers, and you are comparing those numbers to your last studio album, which was like what, album 7? I'm not sure which one, but as someone who's been in the game and who's had as much longevity as you have had, and you are albums away, like far ahead of your sophomore album. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I won't even engage in that, because I understand why the stands are doing it, because the stands are going to stand. You're going to go bat for your person. So some things you just got to be like, all right, y'all just talking at this point.
We have a serious
y'all ain't making no damn sense.
We have a serious question for you. You ready?
What?
They want to know where are the tangerines.
Oh,
you have one job.
They're actually on my kitchen.
Do you want to take it? Take
on the counter right now. The thing is, I just had some. They're on the counter right now.
I'm like, Mike had one job. Where are the fucking
tangerines? Next time, I love me some tangerines.
Abort mission. Then she said, do something. We in New York, heavy on it. Then she added, Barney B had a whole label fly out to Kelly to beg me to do a joint tour and album with her. I don't want to have to drop that recorded call. That's why all the sabotage on my tour. Drop the receipts, dumb B. You costing them millions with your $4 album and $5 coupon. And then Cardi said, B, you want to talk about $4.99? You sold both your albums for $5, you dumb. You was even selling posters and keychain bundles for your Queen album, you effing dummy. And you know I never been a B to cop please. That was your friend Nitty hitting up Tommy to go on the effing joint tour after he got out of jail. I ain't never got on a phone call with none of y'all asses. And look how you be talking about Rock Nation, you ungrateful B, when they let you off for 3 months of title just so they could buy your album. And Nicki said she's so stupid, find me B. Remember y'all called the cops on us last time, made them tell us we had to leave New York because you and your man was afraid for y'all lives. Nah, ho, drop the receipts, Barney B.
Now pause. For those who don't remember, Kenneth Petty was on camera with a bunch of like 50-year-old street niggas talking about where y'all at. I'm not like, I think we were all concerned. It might have been a wellness check. I don't think they were running from them. I think they were worried about their knees, but go on.
You'll be eating out the garbage cans of the Bronx. And I'm not even about to say that last part because don't bring my God into this. He don't have nothing.
Bringing Jesus into this is I'm Buddhist, but I was raised Christian. I don't like that. Whenever Nicki brings up Jesus, I get nervous.
nothing to do with this evilness that's going on. And then Cardi responded and said, you lying, Funky Feet B. Nobody called the cops on you. Your dumb A bum A man went online talking ish and doing threats while he was on probation.
Yeah, you can't threaten people's life. Like, for boys and girls, if you're on probation, you can't find a bunch of 50-year-old street dudes and threaten people's lives. Just a little tip.
Dummy, you was talking tough. Now you talking about find us. Drop the addy, you fake tough PB. And then she said, but stop all the talking. Where you at? You said you was gonna cave my sister chest in. We checking our DMs and ain't seen it yet. Everybody up and waiting. Drop the addy right now. And then she said, trying to call me out to fight because I'm pregnant as F. You never have that energy when I see you in person. I seen you at 2 Met Galas and you never have that energy. But where the F you at? My end is outside right now. Where the F y'all at? Then she said, drop the addy right now and don't go tagging the feds and the police like you did 3 months ago, you PAB. Shut the F up.
I feel dirty. Before we go on to the next part about the misogyny of this, but Mike, I'm so concerned for how Cardi is going off because there's no way you're typing like that unless you are like angry up to here. That baby's in there like, what's going on outside? Right? I'm uncomfortable. I'm not pregnant for anybody who's curious, and I feel like I might start crowning. I feel dirty. Where's the spray? You know what? Before we get to the next part, let's break some Florida water on the screen. Let's bless this. All right, let's talk about the obsession with culture.
Me and my best friend were talking about all the deranged tweets that Nicki Minaj was making in gibberish last night, and she brought up a good point. Do y'all notice how when she was attacking Cardi B's kids, she was only talking about her daughters? Like, she didn't say anything about her son. Like, it was just, your daughters are ugly, they're roaches, they look like monkeys, like all of you, F culture. Like, she was hyper fixated on Cardi B's daughters. Nicki Minaj has a history of misogyny, and I feel like this just goes to show like how deep it runs. Like, we already know that, you know, she is with a registered sex offender. Like I said in my last video, I don't care that, you know, his victim tried to sue them or whatever. Good for her. Victims deserve compensation for being abused. Like, that is trauma that you carry forever. So yeah, sue. I would sue too. The hell, if I know you got it, I'm gonna sue you. When her brother was arrested, she defended her brother,
and paid for it,
who was doing inappropriate things with his 12-year-old stepdaughter. She called the little girl fast. Ain't no little girl fast enough to get a grown man in his.
You called a little black girl fast for being raped by your brother, but we're supposed to have your back just because we're black women. I'm sorry.
Late 30s.
Mike, did you have something you want to say?
That's conditioned language too. Like, that is conditioned language of someone that has also been hurt. So it's just bad all around. It's just,
it is.
Yeah, yikes.
Okay, immediately no. She defended her nasty brother. Even with the Megan Thee Stallion situation, you know, how she was, you know, defending Tory. This lady she's a nut job. And even with her father, like, no tea, no shade. You talked about how your father burnt your house down, all this, that, and a third. But when somebody didn't send you condolences when your father passed, now you're mad. Girl, we don't even know if you like your daddy. Like, how was people supposed to know? Like, girl, you sound crazy. Like, the fact that she was just so, like, culture in every tweet, like, that was very, very, very weird.
Yeah. Cardi and Nicki, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a Cardi on this one because we can.
By the way, there are some barbs in here, so that you guys are gonna hear the barbs speak as well. Don't worry.
Argue all day, bitch, but when it come to my kid, don't ever let it come to my kid. Ever. Drop the addy.
Yeah, so I think we can all say it's gone too far at this point. Kids are getting involved. Threats are being made. Meanwhile, the government is about to be shut down. I do not know how we got here, y'all. I don't understand why they have beef. I understand all the history about that. But for the first week's album sales to be doing all this, I can't. Especially because the severity of what they're saying, like, I can't even show the tweet. You know, shit's bad when people understand Twitter from both sides are just like, please, y'all, like, this is doing too much. Let's stop it. But y'all contributed to this damn shit. I'm gonna go ahead and call for what the fuck it is. Y'all always be doing too damn much. So you're gonna take some fucking responsibility as well. But they're also grown women. And I think that they're gonna have to calm the tension somehow. how. Do I know if they're going to? I don't know, because like I said, this shit has been going on for 7 fucking years. Like, how much longer is it gonna go on?
Just to be clear, we are.
This is the first barb. For those who are saying we don't want to hear the barbs, we have to. For my own personal integrity, I have to make sure that we play both sides talking.
We are on Nicki Minaj's side. We are. And we're on her side because she's a Black woman. She's talented. And she worked hard to get to where she's at.
That's it?
Okay. This isn't about morals, because if y'all want to really get into morals.
Why is she talking like Nicki? Do all the barbs mimic her like this? Because I didn't watch all these videos. Okay.
And you're choosing Cardi's side? I'd rather you say you're neutral, but let's wake up.
Nicki, coming from one of your like biggest barbs and just biggest fans, you are so wrong in this situation. I'm so sick of how you've been like antagonizing and chastising this girl. You basically released your album date during her whole rollout. And at first I thought it was funny, but then it's like you let, what is his name, Armin, come in and kind of like stir the pot. And both of y'all are wrong for that, because both of y'all let him stir the pot. But
for those who are wondering who Armin is, oh God, he has my number. He better not text me after this. Armin is the one who was pouring baby oil all over himself when Diddy got off on some of those charges. That's who he is, Armin.
Nicki, you're more wrong, because for one, you call yourself the queen. I actually give it to you. You are the queen, but you're not acting like a queen. You're acting more like a peasant, and it's pissing me off. You don't see Beyonce going back and forth with nobody, and that's why she remains the queen. You have to do that too. Stop trying to do.
Look, some of the barbs have sense. I know this is a rare thing to say, but some of the barbs embrace nuance. I want it to be fair.
Things to provoke this girl. We all know Cardi. We all know like she's gonna pop off. Like she's not scared of you. We've seen it. She's gonna pop off. Like, but this girl is my age. Like, and you are arguing with her as a 43-year-old. Like, and anybody, any fan, Barb, whatever you want to call yourself, of Nicki, like you would have to be a fool not to know that she's like not wrong in this situation. And I'm not even going to speak on the JT thing, because JT, just get in the studio. Just get in the studio, please, because I'm really kind of tired of you talking at this point. But like Nicki, you're pissing me off. Like, I get it. It's, you want to be petty, but you're really giving that Sagittarius ego to where like I can say things and I can do this, but nobody else can do it too. That's not, no.
It is Nicki Minaj's son's birthday right now. Today, this very day. And you know what she is currently doing in this moment as I'm making this video? On her son's birthday, her and Cardi B are currently going back and forth right now on her son's birthday. And y'all don't think that's odd? Like, y'all genuinely don't find nothing wrong with that? Y'all don't think it's weird that instead of spending time with your son and giving that attention that it takes to type them essays you typing towards that lady, putting it towards your son on his birthday? Like, that, y'all really don't think nothing is wrong with it? Now, earlier I said I was gonna make one last video about the whole Nicki Minaj and Cardi B situation. And this is it. Whether y'all like it or not, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B are on the same level. They are in the same lane. They are in the same league. 200K and 228K, that y'all the same. Now 26K and 228K, like that's a difference. You can say they're not on your level at that point. Doing only a 28,000 difference, y'all are the same, and I think that is the issue that Nicki Minaj has with Cardi. I seen somebody say this on Twitter, and I really think it's true. In Nicki Minaj's eyes, she feels like she had to put in all this work to get to where she's at, and for whatever reason, she feels like Cardi did not. Cardi and Nicki does view Cardi as competition. She knows Cardi is her competition. She knows Cardi is on the same level, and that is why Nicki Minaj do not like the girl, and y'all cannot convince me otherwise.
There's absolutely no way I'm getting online and arguing with a bitch that if I built a playground within 500 meters of her house, she would have to move. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. For what? For what? You got bigger fish to fry, okay?
I mean... Now, before we get to the end about why this is dangerous, because I feel like, Mike, you already have your argument prepared about why this is dangerous. What do you think about the fact that even some of the barbs are like, now, bitch, you wearing us? I never thought I would see the day where a barb would publicly say, bitch, please stop.
But the thing is, I feared for a while now that day was coming.
Really?
Yes, because of what we discussed, like because of the fact that like this behavior has been happening for a while now, and it's been just piling on. So I do think that there are a lot of barbs who have been disappointed and or tired of her behavior for a while now and are speaking up more because it's getting a little bit more difficult to defend her all the time, especially after the Megan beef and like how she talked about Megan's deceased mother and like that was just incredibly vitriolic and just mean-spirited and dark. So I think a lot of people have been feeling a ways for a while now, and for many folks, this has been like the straw that broke the camel's back, honestly. Do you know what I mean? So I get that. And back to I guess the title at hand of this all, is this dangerous? Yes, it's incredibly dangerous. And it's not just dangerous for them as individuals, but it's dangerous for what they're saying and the green light, I guess, that they're giving to other people to
they're normalizing some really
and normalizing certain language to be able to spew it, and legitimizing other people's views and or the way that they speak and or language or whatever the case might be towards other people, especially as it pertains to children and especially as it pertains to children that might be on the spectrum. Like, let's not do that. It creates a dangerous environment for even kids that might be on the spectrum that are in school that are like just trying to live their lives. You know what I mean? So it's sad.
I'm happy you mentioned the thing about the kids on the spectrum, because here's the thing. We're about to play a video about a street dude from Queens who's about to explain to us why he, as a nigga from the block, think this is dangerous. Because I know y'all think that me and Mike are just two bougie people in LA who are speaking from an ivory castle, but street niggas agree that this is dangerous. So we're about to hear one of them talk. I want everybody to talk. I want the scholars. I want the street dudes. I want everybody to have a say in this, even the barbs. So I am, for those of you who are pretending I'm not being fair, I dare you to show me a video of anybody being this fucking fair in 2025, right? I am nervous because no part of me thinks that Nicki and Cardi can't keep themselves safe, but their fans are something different. Not everybody has the same ecosystem that they have. And I am worried for the mental health of people who are fanatical on both sides, who think that because you love somebody, they're above reproach, because everything that has been said needs to be reproached, right? And so if you think because I love Cardi, we can't tell her, hey, maybe you shouldn't mollywop people while you're pregnant. Or because I love Nicki, maybe you shouldn't, like try to Nicki's list is too long for me to actually say. And so you guys, we're going to watch this clip. And when this clip is over, I want Mike for you to help me unpack where do we go from here as an audience, because they're getting fed by our attention.
New York. Queens, Southside, it's a difference between Queens and Southside Jamaica, Queens. If you're from New York, you know that. Cardi's from the Bronx, Nicki's from Southside Jamaica, Queens. Neither one of them are backing down. And there has to be some sort of situational awareness, right? And when artists do things like this, it can affect how other people think, right? Like people hold themselves or model themselves after artists, right? Like Cardi B has her group of the, what do they call it? The Barty gang or something like that. And then Nicki has the Barbs. You know what I'm saying? Like they have two fan bases that constantly are toxic and go against one another. And with everything that's being said, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, 99.9% will not get into no sort of physical altercation with one another. The situations like this, who it harms is the people around. Like, of course, she always talking about her husband, right? Of course, her husband is going to go out to defend her. At one point in time, when Offset, was with Cardi and they was together and they was having their back and forth, these is women that's getting into what they're getting into, but now it could get dangerous because you got pride mixed in with ego. Pride mixed in with ego, and you got men running around through the streets looking for one another on account of what their lady said.
That part.
Now, there's a conversation that needs to be had, and specifically towards the ladies, right? Like, a lot of men have ended up in bad situations because a woman called them, because of a situation that they were having. Might have been.
Perfect example, Merlin Santana from the Steve Harvey Show. Remember that actor, Mike? Merlin Santana? My former co-host, DJ Damage, looks a lot like Merlin Santana. When he met Brandon, he said she started crying because she was like, oh my God, you look just like him. Merlin Santana lost his life very young and early in his career because of a woman in a situation where he got unalived. So there are so many stories of men who are trying to protect the lady that they love, who's attached to a beef, and something happens to them. And regardless of what I think about Kenneth Petty, regardless of your concerns about Stephon Diggs, it would be horrible if any of these children lost a father because of this.
A fight with another girl, they about to get jumped or something. I've seen it a million times. People lose their life and go to prison on account of what they'll do for their sisters, their daughters, whomever. You know what I mean? People want to protect the people that they love. But when they're having these conversations and they're going to this extent, what they're not realizing is that the people that are around you that may not see too much for themselves or ready to crash out at any given moment are more than willing to put their freedom on the line or their lives on the line for your ego, for your respect, for your conditioning or however you feel when you in the crib and you dealing with these trolls. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's also an ego thing to not turn your social media over to your team.
That part.
So that you don't have these moments. And let the crowd roar and say whatever they want to say. But people care too much about the internet.
And so that to me is why when you hit me up, Mike, I was like, this has merit, because I fear not what will happen to Nicki or Cardi, but what will happen to people in their honor. That's what I'm nervous about.
I'm not nervous about that when it comes to Barty Gang. I'm more nervous when it comes to the Barbs. Because it's not because of their personalities so much as it is because of the way Nicki communicates with her fans and the power that she seemingly holds over her core Barb gang, like her core Barbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nicki can put out a tweet and say something like, "Go Black Barbs." They will shut up. They won't say anything. They'll do exactly as their queen says. That is when it becomes dangerous, is when a person that you idolize can have so much power over you that it dictates how you just operate in your everyday life. And all they need to do is snap their fingers for you to act. That's when it becomes dangerous. Cardi doesn't have that type of relationship with her fans. If she wanted to, she probably could, but she doesn't have that type of personality to even engage with her fans that way.
She doesn't want that responsibility.
She doesn't want that. I don't even think it's responsibility. She just, her mind, she doesn't think that way.
Yeah.
She doesn't engage with her fans. It's all, yeah, I won't go into that, but like that's what it, yeah.
Do you know what everybody's saying?
I think it gets dangerous when you militarize your fan base.
That's the perfect word. When I think of Nicki, I think of Malcolm X, that scene when Denzel just goes like this and everybody turns. Nicki is very much militarized, to use your language. And the thing that I thought was a slight bit of light and humor in this for me before I came on was everybody saying that the only group that would neutralize this, but probably in a scarier way, everybody's like, they're just waiting for Nicki to cough the letter B. If the Beehive gets involved in this, I'm tapping out.
Yeah, and someone in the comments mentioned Swarm. Exactly, it's Swarm. It's like it's preying on certain individuals who well, may not be all the way there, but also individuals who resonate so much with that person's music that they've lifted them out of a tough time, so much so that they would give anything for that individual because they were the only kind of like shining light in their life. And for that artist to then take advantage of that adoration and turn it into hate for someone else, that's problematic, and that is dangerous. But yeah.
Somebody asked about the natal charts. Cardi B, we already talked previously that Cardi B is a Libra sun with an Aries moon. So emotional regulation was not built in her chart. I think she's a Libra Aries. So it was always going to be hands. Okay. She was always going to have hands, astrologically speaking. But when I looked up Nicki's chart though, hold on, let me look it up. It says that Nicki is a Sagittarius sun, Virgo moon. That's why Nicki is strategic and brooding. I'm a Virgo moon as well. Well, that scares me. Oh, that scares me. And then Aquarius ascending. Oh God. So Cardi is reactive and wants to fight, astrologically speaking. And Nicki, when she's hurt, she broods, she strategizes, she gathers information, and she's prone to depression. That's what her chart says. The astrology kind of tracks to what we've seen thus far. The lighter, more charming, reactive one, and the brooding, angry, like perpetually slighted, depressed one. And so, yeah, I will say this, Mike. Let's say the best case scenario happens and Nicki Minaj comes out with her album whenever it happens. I don't think it's going to be on that date. And she says, I might have had an addiction issue because I didn't want to deal with whatever issue. And me and my husband, things aren't perfect with us. And I'm going to separate from him and go to rehab. Do you think in that kind of scenario, there would be a way for her to ingratiate herself or for her to win back those of us who now do feel that she's a bit dark-sided and sulfuric?
Yeah, I do. Because then it becomes something that is raw and real and authentic. Do you know what I mean? A lot of this feels very reactionary, you know? And if she's able to just take a moment to let people into what may actually be going on in her life, then yeah, of course, we'll have an understanding. And regardless, we're gonna listen to her. We're gonna listen to her music because Nicki's music hits. It hits. Like, you can't deny that. You know, but to the question that you're asking, yeah, I think people would be prone to give her grace because hell, we might even be like, damn, sis, finally you letting us know what's really going down.
I would go live immediately if Nicki Minaj ever took a mea culpa and took accountability for how she co-created all these attacks that she claims that she's under. Because here's the thing, I do believe that horrible things have happened to both Nicki and Cardi in the industry because the industry is already predatory and rap in particular is notoriously misogynistic. So I've never once felt like Nicki didn't have a reason to be mad. It's how she's carried it and let it turn into almost like a cancer in her body. You know what I mean? There is a video that I saw. I didn't check it for
sad too, because they're the only two women that knows what it is to be at this level. And for them to be going against each other in this way is just disappointing to see because they could be such an example. And not that they're already examples as individuals for sure. But it's just, you know, it's sad to see.
There was a video that I saw. I don't know if maybe I have too many videos on this goddamn phone. In the video, somebody used AI in order to show what Cardi and Nicki would be like if they ever made up and like did an interview together. And I watched it and it made me so incredibly sad because it was so fun to watch, right? Mm-hmm. And what makes me upset about all this is that I do think, to your point, here, because I found it. I'm gonna play it.
Someone said they could be powerful together. Oh my God, they could be so powerful.
I would squeal with glee if Cardi and Nicki
be so powerful together.
And that's why I get so mad when y'all say we're being biased, because I'm not being biased if I'm rooting for somebody while still calling out the ways that they've been objectively been harmful.
I love both their music.
All right, so let's play this real quick before we head out, guys. Let's head on a high note. Me and Mike are going to put out some good juju that if there's even a sliver of a chance that somebody will come to their senses, okay? Not both of us doing the titles. Both of them will come to their senses. This is what we're being robbed of because cooler heads haven't prevailed.
This is handmade by a bunch of African people in the back. This is a
is this AI?
biscuit toast.
Yeah.
I could taste the shishito. But the milk. This is how I imagine my breast milk to taste like.
A few minutes later.
I really don't believe that aliens are real because it's like,
Great people
are you
here.
serious?
I feel like it's like, why they just haven't invaded us? But why would aliens want to invade Earth? Earth is ghetto. They probably.
I love it.
It's like if they so smart, like people think that they are, They would have been invading us just so they could just have us. No. I just know that they ain't real. I don't care. I don't care.
This is crazy.
Now the video goes on, but it's something about the visual of seeing Nicki Minaj and Cardi B in their personas, how animated they are, how fun they are, their comedic timing, how talented they are, their ability to have wordplay. It's like if Nicki and Cardi ever decided to squash it, I honestly feel this is going to sound heavy-handed, it would heal millions of people who individually stand for them. I think the Barbs would in droves start going to therapy. I think Barty Gang would have to learn how to forgive. I think that there's so much beauty and opportunity in this that's being missed because of hubris, and that's what breaks my heart. And I am hoping and praying to God that if even one of them, I don't think it's going to be Cardi. I'm Nicki. I honestly think that Cardi's our only hope. I think Cardi having a new man and a new baby and a new lease on life, because we've only known Cardi with Offset. This is a whole new chapter in her life. I'm praying that this new chapter of Cardi allows her to stonewall and to gray walk and to stop reacting, because at least that will take some of the teeth out of this. Any last thoughts, Mike? Good one, Jay. We're doing the Lord's work, by the way.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been great, fantastic for sure.
Do you mean that? Did you get the comments from the Barbs in here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I hope that this beef has ended, and we don't hear or read any more tweets and or see any more reactions from these ladies. I really hope they leave it behind them for sure, or at least get in the motherfucking booth and let the music speak for itself.
As we speak, Nicki's posting.
Nicki's posting?
Yeah.
Well, you know, let her post.
Yeah.
Let her post.
So I'm gonna,
as long as it makes her feel better.
Yeah. So Mike, I'm gonna send you an invite today for this date 3/27/26. What day of the week is that?
It's a Friday, right? Don't they release on a Friday?
Child, you know the rules don't matter anymore. Thanks to
I know they don't. I know they don't, but I guess I'm just trying to make an.
Everybody mark their calendars on March 27th, 2026. Mike and I will be back here. We'll be back here. I'll make cupcakes with little crows on them.
Unless we're, in London again, because that lady
Beyonce
announced another tour.
That's the thing. Me and Mike like to go to London for Beyonce. So if Beyonce's on tour, I take all this back. We're making a time capsule. Let's be richer by then. Let's have a personal vow. Mike,
yes.
What do you want to manifest? Time capsule. So to Mike in Blue on March 27th, 2026. This is Mike in Blue on October 2nd, 2025. I'm going to claim that Blue, your candle line is going to explode. You will have gotten closer to 100K because I really want that little plaque. I've wanted that plaque for so many years. And you'll be getting your back blown out by somebody who keeps you safe.
Oh, I love that for you.
Well, how about you, Mike?
Manifested I'll sell another feature.
Yes.
And I'll get a show greenlit by then. And be a few $100,000 richer.
Hell, Blue from the future, tag on to that too. Mm-hmm. Let's just share. So me and Mike are going to just share let's all the blessings combined. You guys, we're going to see you guys then, but before March 27, 2026, Mike, we'll be back again because Mike, they are obsessed with you in the chat. I hope you went back last time.
I love y'all. Y'all are great. This is a great community you've built, Blue.
I appreciate that. And what do you want the statement to be, the Blue Crew? What do you want the statement to be in the comments for those who are watching the replay? Because we always throw in a statement for them to put in the comments. Mike.
What did Cardi say? If you beef with me, we won't be forever. That one.
Oh, Mike. No, Mike, we cannot.
What?
We just ended so positive.
What? I don't care, and
okay. I'm gonna have to make an executive decision.
So Mike, you asked me.
I forgot you were a Leo. I'm so sorry. I forgot you were a Leo. I forgot. A Leo's gonna see peace and choose violence at the end. The statement, y'all can do that if you want. The other statement is everybody needs some therapy. Mike, really? Not that too. Okay.
That too.
If we have beef forever, and everybody needs some therapy. Okay, let's do a hybrid. All right, on that note, I love you guys. Please watch the playback. Please write the comment and the thing so we can have engagement because it pushes it up for other people to see the video. And if you like this and you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And for those of you who have been asking, Bridget is coming to town this weekend to help me start packaging.
Bridget.
I know, because the candle line, Bridget's gonna help me with some of the candles. So just know that any candles that you are gonna start receiving, because the candles start going out the week of October 21st. They might go out a little bit earlier. We're working towards that. And any box that you receive, just assume that me, Bridget Kelly, or my sister personally wrapped it. So we are investing so much love in these products and so much love in the packaging. And there's a whole ceremony that's going to happen to bless the candles. Mike, we have to figure out which candle that you want. I think I have one in mind for you.
Which one do you have in mind?
I have not
one?
Big Wick Energy. You have enough Big Wick
Because
Energy.
the love candle, I don't want it right now.
No, we don't make love candles. We make candles about self.
Great. Okay, great.
But the road opener candle, I think would be great for you.
Yes, road opener. Okay.
I'm going to make you a road opener candle. All right, guys, we have to go because I have to actually do another live with Bridget in about 20 minutes and I need to eat. I love y'all. Bye, family. Say bye, Mike.
Bye, y'all.